shoulders and it was more for them to prove themselves. So it feels like now they're maybe a little struggling. We're going to be heading over to Emmy, so please do take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just me, because Parker's gone off for a quarter feet.
I'm
Whatever
here.
he said. What? What?
What do you mean, what?
I was told that you were not.
You were lied to.
Wow.
I did go get a coffee, but then I came back
did?
and I was waving to the camera.
What
I
kind
heard
of
people
coffee?
talking. I sat here because I thought it'd be rude to interrupt.
Well, it would be. What kind of a hot cup of Joe did you get?
I got a cup of it. They didn't just splash it in my face.
Is it drip? Like the kind of coffee?
No, he retired.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is
You
indeed
have
drip coffee. I started my day on with a PSL, which you didn't know what that was, but now
I didn't
you
know
do.
what that was. I bet Ginny would. No.
Ginny is Ginny seems like that kind of gal. Yeah.
Ginny is a big TikTok gal.
This PSLs predate TikTok, okay?
Yeah.
PSLs predate Vine.
Well, you got mad when Ginny called you a boomer earlier.
Yes, because I'm not. I'm a millennial. Anyway,
I'm a millennial, also, I think.
that is true. We are I think we're pretty much I think you're a year older than me, actually.
Stop telling people that.
Okay, my mistake.
Thank you.
Because everybody calls me old.
Yeah,
God, what does that mean for you?
It's like you, me, Milosh. Are like the old people.
Ace is like 10 years older than all of us.
Ace is. Have you haven't played recent hit RPG game, have you?
You can say the name of other games on this show. Are you talking about Baldur's Gate?
I am. There's a helpful skeleton in it called Withers that gives me a lot of Ace energy.
Does it also wear floral shirts?
I'm gonna make that mod. Somewhere your son Lynx is like laughing.
I don't know if he's watching this broadcast. He makes TikToks now. That's what he does.
He does. Make TikToks.
I
He's
hope
like
for
Ginny.
the caliber of the match that he did not watch map 1.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was a rough one.
we'll see if the middle has slightly better caliber here. It could be going all the way. I worry if we get to a third map for Black Dragons, to be honest. Even if they win this, you're looking at Skyscraper. You're looking at a real slow attack map.
Yep.
And they weren't great. I'm just saying it politely to set you off. They were pretty bad.
See, you're still doing it.
They were real not good. Look at this though. The first fight's about to pop around. There goes the head instantly into trophy.
I appreciate this.
Remember where the sight is as well.
again.
Stamping him.
These two teams, man. I use man as a expression this
I
time.
know. Don't worry. I know. 4 versus 2.
There's an Amaru still on the board. I am waiting with bated breath. Out. All right. I was going to lose my mind if that gunfight did not work out. How do you magged up the SMG-12 onto
Twice.
a smoke at close range and miss most of those shots?
Twice.
Twice.
Not the perfect start, you could say, here for Black Dragons. Okay. Lose out the laundry hold. Oh, a quick replay.
Things didn't go very well. Could have been better, 7 out
Could
of
have
10.
been better. We've got
Look at that.
notes.
I feel this is very hurtful to show that again. It's like the replay operators know what they're doing. We just had production was like, that's the point.
The cruelty is the point.
The cruelty
That
is
is-
the point.
That's now 7 rounds in a row for Vivo Keyed.
That's crazy.
Yes. No, Vivo Keyed, actually. Crazy is an old roster. Played in Tier 2. Oh, you never worked Tier 2. You don't know about the heart of the scene.
Crazy was a pro player in NA. He actually used to play for Powerhouse when I was still involved with the organization. He also played for, what was it? I think he was like Tempo Storm. I don't remember what other teams he played for. God, it was a long time ago.
Memory isn't what it used to be, Boomer.
It's not even about that. It's that I would suspect that I've probably casted thousands of maps, without exaggeration.
Yeah. We've
As
had
of the other day, I found out that I've been doing this for 6 years now.
Has it been good?
It hasn't been Black Dragons, that's for sure.
Well, they're able to at least get themselves out of tower without suffering a loss. Vivo keyed. They were trying to pepper some bullets up towards T3, and at first they looked like they wanted to fight, but then they sort of went, nope, pulled themselves back in because, well, look, Horner Tower is putting pressure across the window. This is the same thing I sort of talked about from the little bit of attack we saw from Vivo keyed on the previous map. I like that they stretch themselves out a bit. There's width, there's wiggle room, there's a plan B and a plan C that preparation work is being done on them whilst everything else is coming together. And Black Dragons, the sooner they learn that, maybe they can try and break the deadlock. This is the longest I think we've gone over the past 3 attack rounds that we've had from Vivo keyed, where Black Dragons haven't lost a player.
I mean, I like the setup from Black Dragons, all joking aside. You know, the Azami showing her worth, and that's a tough one for Vivo keyed. But I mean, you're going to go into harm's way. Daffodil could be the next one to fall in that same position. You got drones still available. You got time still available. One thing that a lot of people don't realize, because if they turn their graphic settings down, is the shadows actually really do help you. And that was a particular instance where you can actually see the shadow. Because of the lighting on this map, if you stand on the balcony facing the door to the left of the door, your shadow will cast across the doorway. So the defenders can see you. Same as if you are on rafters and you're staring at the doorway in Clubhouse. If somebody is to the left of that door frame, your shadow will go across the door as well. It's very advantageous for the defense. And it just ultimately gives Black Dragons a huge advantage that continues to get better for them.
Technically, a 2 versus 2 right now. This is the down player inside the core of the site with 45 seconds. Though Horner Tower's pretty beat up. They've been quite dagger sharp with their guns so far. It's Loira's position that might cause problems here. There goes one on that position. There's the second. Loira.
Is that an ace for Loira?
It was at least 4. I
didn't even see like the quad kill popping up on the screen. Pretend I'm a baby. You have to spoon feed me this information. If I don't see a giant quad kill go across the screen, I can't even count that high. You know.
Well, you need to go back into education. Anyone can learn to count.
I'm not good at math, or as you say, maths.
Maths. Say it with 2 F. Maths.
Maths.
Go back to maths.
So where did things go wrong on that attack? Well, it's really quite simple. When you let an Azami through the ban phase, and you let that Azami live, and Loira did not get an ace, by the way, 4 kills. It was Stemp who got one of the other picks.
Stamp.
Stamp! When you let an Azami go through the ban phase, which is a bit abnormal in this region, one of the most, banned operators on either attack or defense for good reason. If you let an Azami go through and the entirety of Azami's gadget will go on trophy and bedroom, then you either need to have explosives, something that can disrupt, whether it be flashes, a smoke, a firebolt if you're Capitao, potentially a Flores drone. If you don't do that, and you think the only way you're going to be able to engage on that bedroom hold with 3 Kiba barriers plugging the doorway to trophy, 1 on the bed, 1 blocking the doorway out on the balcony, you got to rotate that leads to top armory stairs, but then you got somebody playing over in trophy or armory to watch so that you don't get swung from that angle, even though that wasn't the case. Vivo did swing from that angle and ultimately end up losing their Ash. You're just going to lose every single engagement you take against Loira. Not this round. Loira dies to Hades. But
instantly in Zulu, opening 20 seconds. I guess just drove in.
Maybe Loira's feeling good. Feeling nice, feeling nasty. You got 4 kills in the previous round. Take your, shoot your shot.
Well, they did, and they missed. And Hates was able to actually get them down. Not the most common gun to be seen in the pockets of the Brava. Brava, I guess, isn't the most common operator on this sort of map at this sort of position. They're going to see if they can try and full send the drone game alongside the Flores. Maybe clear out the back end here of Blue. They've got a lot of focus coming down on towards Frieza. Don't know what that was. Saw a ghost. Melee'd it. new operator is a ghost.
You don't need to give them ideas. It's just a sentient crossbow.
It's the new Halloween thing. We're not doing hide and seek anymore. We're doing ghosts.
I like the tools that are being brought from Vivo Keyed, though. You got a Capitao, you've got the Brava to take care of some of the utility, so those arrows provide far more value. Now, obviously, you can't deal with the Warden, who's going to see right through that smoke, but the Wamai dying early means there's only going to be probably 2 magnets at this point on the board, and even then, it'll be easy for Hates to find them. You've got the Flores drones to take out whatever might come in that direction and dislodge these players inside of the closet and over towards blue. You have to deal with Freezer, and I guess you're not going to do that because the smoke gets in on the action. Now, what was really good for Vivo Keyed is fallen apart. Lenda and Ask in a 1v1 with Diffuser going down in the hands of Lenda.
2 huge names, a lot of history, and well, we're eyes locked down. Lenda's able to get it, and with the impact, misses the player! Looks too wide, too deep, too far, and he's having a moment, celebrating with his team. Changing his audio settings, and then getting the kit down. It suddenly exploded there on the back end. There was one very important kill that gave Black Dragons a little bit of momentum, which was the swing round towards Freezer and towards main door. As soon as they got that read on that first engagement, it gave so much confidence for Black Dragons to try and move up and to retake. You saw the snap come towards Freezer door. You saw the pressure come back around across what was otherwise just all of them being pushed away by utility.
So, the tools that were brought from Vivo Keyed were perfect for that bomb site, right? You've got smokes, you've got contingency with the Brava to take out anything that might come your way, be it magnets, be it, cameras. You've got Flores drones to take care of the rest. And again, concealment has not been a big thing for either of these teams. Smoke grenades, and I don't mean smokes canisters, I mean smoke grenades on attack have really not been that important for either of these teams. There haven't been a lot of diffusers that have been planted, in all fairness. So I suppose if you're not going to go for objective play right off the rip, then that's okay. But you struggle in Freezer. All right, you've got 2 players from Vivo Keyed asserting themselves in Freezer. 3 players are remaining for Black Dragons. It's a 5v3. You have a good inclination that somebody's going to be playing either from Freezer all the way back to Pillar or back tower stairs. That's a very common position for one of the defenders. And given the 2 that you've killed, somebody's almost certainly going to be in that spot. Flores is an excellent operator to tackle blue. If you've got stuns or fire arrows, commandeering those back steps are excellent. And you have every gadget you could possibly hope for. But one thing that these 2 teams have shown time and time again, and again, I don't want to be mean-spirited here, but it's just that they are not very well coordinated together. There is very limited follow-up. We are not watching methodical clears with another player capitalizing off of that drone intel. And more importantly, we are not seeing smokes and utility work in the bomb site that somebody can immediately follow up on. This is a very solo and singular hero style of gameplay between these 2 squads. I don't know if something will change at some point, because we've seen, especially on the side of Vivo Keyed Stars, a very coordinated matchup before with them, but they're going to have some trouble as they lose Lenda very early on. Gomez will probably get the finish here. And there we go, back to a 4-4.
It's a great shot there onto the kill, onto Trophy Door as well. The pick back up, they lose a very powerful operator. They lose the Izami quite early. There's Patoxy gone as well. Stemp is isolated a little. They have all the Fenrirs in the world, but they can't find a route back towards the kitchen without being shot from the cover. Well, Hornetau's actually looking the other way right now. He tucks into the next engagement, smokes off one side. There's some support from above, but they're just holding themselves at arm reach. They keep swinging at the worst possible time. Loria gets Gomez. Hates is trying to sneak his way up round onto the back of the player. They wanted the pinch, and there's the hop out. Live just jumps out the window that Hornetau was watching and gets the kill onto the player. Daffodil is now suddenly isolated a bit. They need the support to come around from the opposite end. There's the cover of the gadget, which they just move into. Quick fight back, but they know exactly where you are. There's a big sort of cover over the position of the players. And with them still holding vertical, it's pretty far away from easy to get this plant down.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some, I use the word concealment, but you've got some concealment here with those boogie drones. They make a ton of noise, and the racket that will come from them will give Hates an opportunity to rotate around. No diffuser to be held, and unfortunately, walking into those dread mines from the Fenrir means that you're going to give that information away. They're going to hear it go off. Fenrir of Ask, or the Fenrir of Stem is not up, but yeah, confused by the purple. The zombie's also got purple jacket.
I know you were learning colors. I understand.
Hates is the diffuser, though. Really slow. 15 seconds. On cam as well. We'll go for the plant just by split wall.
Well,
I'm getting into position, so is
here.
Laura.
Yeah, one's on the swing. They exploded. Things happen.
Imagine somebody takes your words at face value. They exploded.
Hi, welcome. If this is your first ever Rainbow Six watching the esports, welcome. Couple of things I'll just quickly point out. Yes, it is always in Portuguese on the screen. You better learn Portuguese.
I was like, get ready to learn Portuguese.
Get ready to learn Portuguese, buddy. Sometimes people just explode, and we can't explain that. Can you explain that?
Yeah, you explode. It's a new mechanic. It's the opposite of withstand. So basically, instead of holding a key and bringing yourself back to life, you hold a key and then you detonate. And it's basically used to deny the opposing team the victory that they so badly want.
3-1, and Black Dragons, they're feeling themselves a little bit more. They're swinging into these engagements. They're confident in some of these fights. The jump out of the window that is actively being watched for 30 seconds and winning that is a big sign of, okay, they're starting to return. They still have the most terrifying thing, which is actually putting an attack together as the second half of this map. But if they can get themselves onto a 5-1 split, as was done to them in a similar fashion at a similar point, was where panic was sort of setting in for them on the previous round. Viverkeed, I mean, from where they started taking Laundry, they know that they've got at least Dorms and maybe a Laundry ahead of them again, so it's not an easy end towards this half for them.
No, not one bit. I mean, this has been quite a confusing matchup between these teams with the way that, you know, things have gone, frankly. I didn't expect the 7-1 scoreline on Cafe whatsoever, and I certainly didn't expect Black Dragons to be this competitive on Oregon. This map has not been played by Black Dragons so far this stage. It's played once by Viverkeed, where they lost to W7M or 7, but I mean, name a team that hasn't lost to a map against W7M, right? I don't think you can draw a lot from that in particular. It could just also speak to the fact that Viverkeed aren't very confident in their map pool. Maybe, maybe not. But Border, which was the map that Black Dragons lost on, was banned by Viverkeed, and it earned a finger wag from CDAPS on the desk, asking, you know, why would you do that?
Why are you running? You have
glasses. I was going to say, you're a warden. Use your gadget.
Yeah.
Well, I remembered. I think he did remember, in all fairness.
Did remember. I mean, you know, a lot of warden mains don't in ranked at the minute. They should ban the 1.5. I wish you could just ban that site.
Stop it.
Imagine.
Don't give them any idea.
Have it not as an operator, but you can just ban the 1.5 scope and see how people fall apart. Talking of falling apart, me. No, talking of falling apart, the pressure's coming across Trophy.
You're just actively deteriorating?
Always. They're going to see if they can try and remove the Azami. That was a big problem last time. You said, hey, I'm Parker. And then you also said, well, if they had explosives, they could get rid of them. Yes, and they've got the Ash to try and do that. The Ash last time went for the swing and lost out that engagement. Aids in the meantime, they've got themselves tucked in on the far side. The Ying's going to start getting an approach and broach here over towards the back end of the Azami. They want to try and draw some focus. Stemp might be a bit under fire. There's Lender lending themselves towards the fight, but they just can't find the angle. Lyra's still in there.
This is really good at this moment for Viverkeed, though. You've got your first 2 picks. You haven't used a ton of utility in the process. You've still got drones up. Only problem is going to be this same operator and the same player in the same position that you struggled with before, and that's Loira over in bedroom. If you cannot get that utility in that part of the map to flush out Loira, who can now command games, can go back into bedroom, and has all of these opportunities against you, you're going to be in serious trouble. The 4K from Loira in the same spot. Gomez doesn't have any Candelas left. So Loira's going to have to play off of this intel without being blinded, and is ultimately succeeding, but Vivo Keydstars pick up 2 very quick kills, and they win the round.
The response that they needed, win, which, yeah, that makes sense. Anybody needs that when you're losing so many in a row, but they keep themselves back and forth. Obviously, with how quick they got a dominant performance on the first sort of map, with how the attack slowed down, that's still the pressure of Black Dragons. Their second half of this map is going to be the sort of truth tell, and you know, if we go in at a 3-3 here, you're still sort of favoring a bit of Vivo Keyed action. If they're feeling confident, if they're going for these fights and they're just putting pressure onto the time, there's a lot of good ways of doing that with his army, with the clash that they were sort of rolling around with in the previous map a little bit. They can put that pressure immediately back on the Black Dragons here, and they need this 4-2 edge.
Yeah, with the way that we tend to see Oregon going this stage, a 4-2 for the defenders, irrespective of if it's a good map for you, irrespective of who you're playing against. If the defense can win a 4-2 on Oregon, you're basically doing what is needed based on what everybody else does on this map. Black Dragons winning those 3 rounds in a row, making Vivo Keyed look semi-lost, gives them a lot of opportunity to close this out. They just need one more round, and they're going to go to a relatively favorable bomb site, right? Yeah, they lost it in round number 1 to Vivo Keyed. That Black Dragons team that showed up in round number 1 looked more like the Cafe Black Dragons, not like what we've seen so far over the last couple rounds. I will say, though, that Vivo Keyed learned from that last Dorms execute, and I really appreciate the fact that they were able to change some things up. Uh-oh. Gomez driving a drone.
I really wanted them to try and kill the player there.
I thought he might have tried to kill Ask, but opted for something else entirely. No, I mean, Vivo Keyed bringing tools, first and foremost, not directly funneling into bedroom upstairs and dying to Loira one by one is honestly a big accomplishment. So the fact that they picked off some of the offside players made that the emphasis of the round. And once they had an advantage, weaken Loira's position just by nature of taking out the other players scattered around the map. That was a smart adaptation. And then they brought the Ying as well to deal with it. Another smart adaptation. You know, I would argue that you should be bringing a Ying pretty much every single round on Oregon. And the fact that Vivo Keyed aren't is kind of distressing and not optimal, but I'm not competing in this match. They brought the Ying last time. They made it work. They have to pull off one final attack without the Ying this time.
Hatches start to get themselves popped open. You get your X-Gyro set on all of them and do multiple at the same Ghost. What is with that corner? What am I missing?
What do you mean?
He punched it twice in the exact same way 2 times in a row. I haven't seen anything though. Maybe I'm losing it.
Could be.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Well, there have been a couple times, maybe it is Maybelline. There have been a couple times where I know that the spectators have not had certain parts of the map load in.
Right. That's cool.
Bank, it happened, I think yesterday. It was either yesterday or 2 days ago. The wall of Bank just did not show up on the exterior, and it looked like the map was floating in the sky.
That's kind of cool.
Money
talks.
New Columbia vibes. So
It's capitalism for you. I have a tattoo of Bioshock Infinite, and well, they might have a tattoo as it asks bullets in their face. Hates trying to find the fight either side, but it's a tricky drop as they go right into the smoke canister. Stemp and Live get one apiece, but there's instantly Daffodil with a double back on the shotgun. Pops its way across. Not the most common lead-in weapon here for the Hibana, but they're going to see if they can try and make it swing as we're about to sing a song of a shotgun corner. Live really is itching for this fight, or it's just something on his back that he's trying to scrape off. Either way, he's ready for the pop around the corner. There's Hornetau taking a lot of damage. There's the rest of it from the back end to Stemp. Daffodil, well, they've got to try and find a fight first. Pops towards one, gets the drop down. The second is there, and Black Dragons get 4-2 hard.
I mean, you knew that Live was in this position. Why would you, expose yourself to it? I suppose it looked like they might have been going for a pick. But again, you've got the down inside of Pill. You're in a tough spot either way. I suppose if you're an E-box or Pillbox, or the call out varies depending on the region.
Sorry, I use E-box.
E-box, there you go. Electrical is
sorry.
what some people call it too.
I know that you talk about your pills that you need every day.
My
Your
pills.
old age.
I actually
Bad
don't
back.
I don't take any pills.
What?
Yeah. I'm diabetic,
take-
so I have to use insulin, but I don't take any pills.
I use Dino gummy vitamins, Flintstone vitamins.
I did used to eat the Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah, vitamin.
How do you say the old French org's name that has the hornet as their logo?
BDS.
No.
Sorry. No, I
Say
know.
their name.
Listerine.
Say the org name.
Vitality.
Okay.
Huh?
Now say vitamin.
Vitamin.
Okay.
No, I can do it. I can do it.
Say milk.
Ask me again. Ask me
Say,
again.
say milkshake. Milkshake. Say milk.
Milkshake.
Milk.
Milk.
You guys aren't even
Milk.
saying the same thing.
What?
It's from.
Ask me
I'll
again.
show it to you later. It's from a skit. It's a very funny skit. If you've
Vitality.
never watched Julian Smith, you need to.
BDS.
Not the same.
Black Dragons. Let's see. What? Let's see what they can do here on their attack. Because if you missed the first map, well, to be fair, so did they. They could not get an attack together if they had paid a lot of money for it. And we'll see if they can try and take the lessons of a timeout and go, look, we're up here. Let's try and push this one over the edge. Semp moving behind a hot drone. Again, something I don't think we really saw last map at all. Was that active use of utility ahead of the players.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah. In terms of the first half, things actually went quite well for Vivo Keydstars, despite the scoreline not going in their favor. They were able to get some objective play. It wasn't much. But then in terms of kills and just trades, with the exception of round number 2, they either struck first or answered back with a down or a kill very fast. It was the mid to late round where they seemed to struggle. And that was also the same struggle for Black Dragons when they were on attack on Cafe. These teams just through the mid round kind of lose the plot, it seems like. And it could be that they're just really evenly matched or that they are just struggling together, hand in hand.
Well, you have to also take into consideration for how slow they are on attack. You know, at this point, Vivo Keyed were either dead inside the side or putting pressure towards the fight on the back end of it. You can still get the setup game. And you still have lots of time here for Black Dragons. You're just, you know, this is the moment where you go, okay, well, where are we going to lead on to from this point onwards? Gomez, a little bit too late for that Twitch drone, like the other one on the opposite end. They still have the full stretch, but there's a little bit of antsiness about the motions here of Vivo Keyed. They don't quite have that mobility that they want. There's Patoxy getting the first drop. Patoxy gets the second all the way from the back of blue. Laurie's able to get a really snappy execute here. They're inside the site. It's 4 versus nobody. Black Dragons, great execute.
All right, and look at that. In the back and to the side. I don't think there was a single player who died on the side of Vivo Keyed. Maybe one, but from all the players that I saw die, and that includes the ones that died just moments before that final 2K for Mask, it looked like most of Vivo Keydstars were looking in different directions. Are we sure that we got the map bans right, by the way? Because this one is going towards a 7-2 in a hurry. And for Black Dragons to pick Cafe and then Vivo Keydstars, 7 won it. And
Yeah.
then Vivo Keydstars to pick Oregon and Black Dragons to 7-2 it.
Yeah.
It was a joke, by the way, to ask if we got the bands right. It wasn't being serious. So
No, I
production
think
don't.
we should double check with Fame. If you go to furry conventions to get your staff, this is what happens.
I'd like you to repeat what you just said.
Furme's a furry. You know what that is?
Do you have a fursona?
Do you have... I do... No, but I really want to get a cat.
Is not even close to the same conversation.
I know.
You spending an expensive amount or a lot of money on an expensive fursuit is completely different from adopting an animal.
No, true. Unless it's like a Mr. Burns situation.
If you're looking to adopt a puppy, you could always ask if Stokes is willing to move in with you. He's a little puppy dog.
I mean, you know who I work with. I've got Hap. There's a golden retriever that made a wish and came to life.
It's true. Oh, hold on a second. Observation blockers don't get the love that they deserve and are harder to highlight.
Neither do I. Observation blockers don't get the love that they deserve. They're harder to highlight because they are really a great piece of gadgetry, especially for takes like this. It shuts down any immediate approach of anyone trying to get onto the back of blue, because you realize that, you know, if you're trying to drive in a rush there, you're trying to drive in quick bodies, you will just get cut to pieces, or you don't. No, it's really tricky, and you have to dedicate utilities to get the swing.
Well, where that observation blocker was, and we do see that when the Jaeger is brought on this map, observation blockers will usually go upstairs in trophy or bedroom if you're defending up top, whether you're actually defending it because the bomb site is there or you're holding it as a part of the map. In this particular case, the observation blocker is going to cut off that side laundry room that works as the connecting angle to that supply bomb site. And then there's one as well at the bottom of main stairs, which there's a visual height to this. For a second, we just saw a snapshot of how it deprives you of seeing if somebody is playing pillar or over towards blue. Now, the good news is that the most powerful operator on this entire bomb site, other than Ying, is Flores. So the fact that they've got a Flores, and I imagine we're going to see one every single time you attack laundry supply room, they can very easily get those drones in to blow up the blockers.
Are they prepared for this drop of Loira? The reload comes out and Lender should be able to hear that, but they actually pull away. They have the pings on the laundry player, but remember the first 2 kills came from here, right behind an Ela, that you hope is a little bit more aware of what's about to come. Live takes a lot of, I assume, explosive damage based on that chunk of health getting ripped away from them. There's the catch on a player that just wanted to sprint away across an open doorway. They were scared of the drop. The drop comes around. They're not in a position to fight against it. The Jaeger could be the big key piece player here. The dip round the corner. It's a great explosion back on for Black Dragons. The 4 versus 3 versus 1 suddenly pulls apart. As I said, the Jaeger might be the one that stops it, but they're going for the plant itself. Hornet trying to dip around, find an angle. It's just on the other side of the hard wall. They can't quite get the cover. They know exactly where they are. Black Dragons, once again, a very good execute.
Yeah, I mean, this time, obviously, Vivo Keydstars made them work for it a little bit more. Previous round, you had 5 players walk in. I think only a single player died on the side of Black Dragons. This time around, far more evenly balanced between the 2 of them. And honestly, it speaks to the lineup that's coming out from this Black Dragon squad. They are using very optimal operators. They are not pulling Vivo Keydstars, which is not bringing the Ying. You should be bringing a Ying every single round on this map. When you're attacking downstairs, you should couple Ying up with a Flores. There is a reason why Ying is the most banned operator in Brazil and the most banned operator in almost every single region in the world at the moment. Smokes, if you need concealment. Can openers, if you need some hard destruction. And additionally, you've got the ability to distract in days, etc. I am not certain I love the fact that Batoxi is going off of this operator. If you're bringing an Amaru and a Nook, I suppose the Ying is not fully necessary. You need some kind of destruction that can open up a pathway for the Nook, so the Nook doesn't have to do it herself, or make noise so that an Amaru can get in, or open up a part of the floor, push the defenders out, have an Amaru slingshot up a hatch. A lot of teams will bring the Amaru specifically to go under the B bomb site, which happens to be the kitchen room of this map. Go up through the hatch, maybe get a pick and get diffuser down. I'm not super happy that there's no Ying from Black Dragons, but I'm sure they'll make it work. They've been in the driver's seat for this entire matchup. I haven't seen a lot from Vivo Keyd so far on their defenses that lead me to believe that they'll be able to stop this very aggressive Black Dragons take. And speaking of, one of the main points of criticism was coordination. You just saw the Nook of Stemp getting droned in. So there will be a fast follow-up and could be an early first pick if there's somebody roaming down below. We know there is. Whether they're close enough to the Nook is our question.
They barely did it as well on Cafe. It really feels like they sort of had that big team talk going, look, we know what we can do. We're not doing it very well. They lose the ace. It's the first fight, and there's Stemp getting one right back. The Nook said drone to that position. They really cut the defense in half there. A quick response, and losing the hard breach might be a bit of an issue. You've got a couple the tin openers in the pocket of Live, and Loira is able to find Hornetau as well and get another body off. They're having a great map, Loira, as well. A huge return to form and really stepping into the space that, okay, the rest of the team are getting themselves even KDs, but you have to sort of see how this team's got here. They have statistically the best player in the league, or they did from the start of the play day, and now they're holding on to see if they can try and get themselves onto Sky. At first, they said I was a little bit concerned of how their attacks would go if they couldn't find a pace, but their pace has been excellent on this drive so far. Loira is prepped and burning and waiting out for those smokes at the top of White. You've got Toxie and Lender in a bit of a showdown. Daffodil is in a swing position, but if they go too far, Stemp might catch them. At this point, it's just a collapse. Where they're going to find a space, they had no idea Stemp had got into that place. There's the drop over the top of Attic. And Parker, my friend, we are going to the third map.
I have no idea what I don't know.
But
I don't know things.
It comes up
I don't know things
second.
anymore. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know things anymore.
Yeah.
7-1 for Vivo Keat Stars on Black Dragons map. 7-2 for Black Dragons on Vivo Keat's map. I will say the only thing that